A Patch of Heart. A charming love story where a Manhattan lawyer learns to embrace the simple joys of rural life through an unexpected bond. In a picturesque corner of the Hudson Valley, Sarah Jensen runs a sanctuary for rescue animals at Maple Crest Farm. While her nonprofit focuses on fostering a connection between city dwellers and the animals in need of home, an unfortunate accident involving one of the volunteers threatens to derail her efforts with a looming lawsuit. Enter energetic New York City attorney Maeve Carter, known for her fierce advocacy in corporate law. Maeve's world is filled with high-stakes battles in boardrooms, and the thought of stepping onto a farm surrounded by mud and animals feels utterly foreign to her. The last thing she wants is to deal with what she considers a petty case. But when Sarah's sincere plea for help reaches Maeve's ears, the small-town charm of Maple Crest Farm begins to break through her cynical armor. "Maeve, this is Sarah Jensen," her colleague Matthew introduced as he exited the coffee shop they had agreed to meet in, half an hour late of course. Maeve stood, eyeing the woman who had just walked in. Sarah was a breath of fresh air, a tall, sun-kissed brunette whose long hair danced with the breeze. Her casual outfit, a loose, faded plaid shirt tucked into well-worn jeans and sturdy boots, contrasted sharply with Maeve's tailored suit and high heels. "Hello, Sarah," Maeve said, extending her hand, unsure of what to expect. When their hands met, Maeve immediately felt the warmth and strength that radiated from Sarah. It startled her, tugging at something deep within she had long buried. "Thank you for meeting with me," Sarah smiled, her green eyes reflecting genuine gratitude. "Please take a seat," Maeve gestured, her voice lighter than usual. As Sarah settled into the chair, Maeve couldn't help but admire the natural ease with which she carried herself. "Now, tell me how I can help you," Maeve prompted, flipping her notepad to a fresh page, the overall tone of their meeting feeling more like a casual chat than a formal case discussion. "I manage Maple Crest Farm. We rescue animals from neglect, give them a second chance, and provide educational programs for city kids. It's kind of a big deal for the community." Sarah's passion flickered in her eyes, and Maeve found herself genuinely intrigued. "Interesting approach," Maeve noted, jotting down some quick notes. "And what brings you to me specifically?" "Last month, while we were conducting a volunteer training session, one of the new volunteers, Jake, had a mishap with a horse. The poor guy had his foot stepped on. He's okay, but his mother is furious and has decided to sue me for negligence." Maeve raised an eyebrow. "What's the claim?" "Jake's family is alleging that we didn't provide adequate training, and that I was negligent in letting a novice handle a horse. It feels pettier every time I say it aloud." Maeve couldn't help but dwell on the irony of Sarah's situation. "Do you have any form of liability insurance?" "I do, but they rejected me, citing the same reasons." "I don't know what I'm going to do, Maeve. I can't let this lawsuit derail everything." The concern etched on Sarah's face twisted like a knife in Maeve's stomach. "I understand. The key will be to prove you weren't at fault regarding the alleged negligence." Maeve replied, her professional mask slipping back on. "Let's see what documentation you have." As Sarah handed over a thick stack of papers, Maeve flipped through them quickly. She began to sort the crucial details while listening to Sarah's passionate descriptions of Maple Crest's programs, the animals they had saved, and how much joy they brought to the children. "Do you have anything in writing regarding the training protocols you've established?" Maeve asked, glancing up to find Sarah nodding eagerly. "Exactly. We have training manuals, checklists, everything. And I'm really proud of our work." Sarah's enthusiasm was infectious, causing Maeve to sit up straighter than before. "This is going to help us build a strong defense," Maeve acknowledged, her earlier ambivalence replaced with determination. "If you have a solid framework showing how you prepare your volunteers, we can counter their assertions of negligence." "I can provide everything you need," Sarah promised, eyes sparkling with hope. "Thank you, Maeve. If it weren't for you, I honestly don't know where I'd be." As the two women discussed strategies over steaming mugs of coffee, Maeve felt a shift within herself. The stark differences in their worlds didn't seem as insurmountable anymore. "So what's your favorite animal at the farm?" Maeve ventured, intrigued. Oh, that's easy. It's Loki, our clumsy goat. He's a total sweetheart, and I swear he looks at me like I'm the best thing in the world. Sarah's laughter was melodic, and she animatedly shared stories. For a moment, Maeve could almost picture the farm, sunlight breaking through the branches, a gaggle of kids running after prancing goats, and laughter filling the air. An involuntary smile stretched upon Maeve's lips as she realized the palpable connection blooming between them, a connection she never anticipated would fight its way into her heart. Maybe I could help out at the farm once this is settled. Maeve proposed, something vibrant flaring within her. Really? You'd consider that? Sarah's brows lifted, genuine surprise mixed with hope. Why not? Maeve replied, her smile widening. Who knows? I might even get to meet Loki. As they immersed themselves further into conversation, Maeve began to feel a tentative tug towards the simple beauty of life outside the concrete jungle. Little did either woman know that the seeds for a blossoming romance had already taken root amidst their initial dialogues of strategy and law. As the weeks went by, Maeve found herself enveloped in the whirlwind of Sarah's world. With the lawsuit looming overhead, Maeve became increasingly invested not just in the case, but in the vibrancy of Maple Crest Farm itself. They dove deep into documents, coordinated witness statements, and analyzed Jake's accident with an eye for finer details, every meeting unveiling not just the nuances of legal strategy, but also the warmth that spilled from Sarah's tenacity and love for the animals she cared for. One cheerful Friday afternoon, Maeve finally decided to take Sarah's invitation to visit Maple Crest Farm. The sun spilled golden rays over the fields, making the lush green landscape appear radiant. The aroma of freshly cut hay and the sweet scent of wildflowers hung in the air as Maeve parked her car and stepped into the vibrant world that Sarah had painted for her. Maeve. Sarah waved enthusiastically from a distance, her loose dark hair fluttering like a flag in the gentle breeze. She was wearing a comfortable denim overall, and her bright smile lit up Maeve's heart in a way that took her breath away. Is that the infamous Loki I hear? Maeve laughed as a ruckus of bleating announced the energetic goat skidding toward them, his floppy ears bouncing with each bound. Absolutely. But you might want to hold on to your belongings, he's notorious for stealing snacks, Sarah grinned, moving closer to where the goat pranced about. Maeve knelt to pet Loki's soft coat, and as the goat nuzzled at her pockets, she felt an unexpected warmth blossom within her. This is wonderful, Maeve admitted, smiling as she felt the farm's energy swirl around her, a stark but refreshing contrast to her fast-paced life in the city. Wait until you meet the rest of the crew. Sarah beckoned, leading Maeve through a maze of vibrant flowers, clucking chickens, and playful puppies chasing their tails. Maeve was quickly enchanted, her world expanding beyond cityscapes and legal jargon. As they strolled deeper into the farm, the two women found themselves laughing and exchanging stories, forging more than just a professional bond. Each laugh exchanged seemed to tether them closer together, threading their lives as intricately as the blooming flowers around them. Do you ever miss the city? Sarah asked, leaning against the fence as they watched a horse trot gracefully in the nearby pasture. Maeve pondered for a moment, her heart a little heavier with reality. Sometimes. I mean, it's home. It's where my career is, but I never thought I could find joy here, too. You really bring life to this place, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah replied softly, a mixture of surprise and flattery coloring her cheeks. But I'm just trying to provide a home for the animals and a safe space for the kids. It's what I love. Their gazes met, and a spark ignited in the air between them. Maeve felt a rush of emotions she hadn't quite acknowledged before, a nervous thrill that danced alongside the comfort of Sarah's presence. Just then, their peaceful moment was interrupted by the raucous laughter of kids running from the barn. They were part of the volunteer program, several of them waving and calling out to Sarah before they regrouped for a workshop. Want to join? Sarah asked, her enthusiasm infectious. It's an interactive lesson this afternoon. Oh, absolutely. I'll show them my legal skills, Maeve joked, straightening her posture. Now, let's see if I can keep up with this country life. The workshop was delightful, with Sarah leading the children in a hands-on session about animal care and companionship. Maeve watched Sarah in her element, her laughter mingling with the squeals of delighted kids. It was mesmerizing to see someone so passionate, and Maeve couldn't tear her gaze away. In that moment, Maeve realized what she had been missing: a sense of connection, a community built not on ambition and corporate accolades but on kindness and love. That evening, as they wrapped up with the children and sent them off home, Maeve turned to Sarah, her heart racing. "I didn't expect to love it here. Your work is beautiful." "We're just trying to make a difference," Sarah replied, her eyes shimmering under the fading sunlight. "But I have to thank you, too, Maeve. You've changed my perspective on so much, especially with the lawsuit." They stood in the serene twilight, the atmosphere thick with unspoken words. Maeve stepped closer, the glimmer of something profound illuminating the air, a shared understanding, a burgeoning connection that had grown through late-night meetings, and laughter and warmth. "Sarah," Maeve began hesitantly, the quiet enveloping them, "there's something I need to." But before she finished, Sarah reached out and gently took Maeve's hand. "You're not alone in this. We'll figure it out together." That simple gesture ignited a cascade of emotions in Maeve. She squeezed Sarah's hand, and just for a moment, the rest of the world faded away. When they locked eyes, the steady rhythm of their heartbeats seemed to integrate into one. "Can I tell you a secret?" Maeve whispered, her breaths shallow and fast. "Of course. I never thought I would feel this way about anyone, let alone someone like you." Sarah's expression softened, drawn in by the sincerity in Maeve's eyes. "You're not alone in that. Just being here with you, I feel as if I'm discovering a part of myself I forgot existed." Before Maeve could respond, Sarah leaned in, her lips brushing softly against Maeve's in a sweet kiss. It was tentative yet filled with a rush of all they had both been feeling, a mixture of excitement and the freedom of being exactly who they were meant to be. As they parted, their breaths mingled in the cooling night air, both women smiled, knowing that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, with hearts ending up entangled much like the vines growing wild around the farm. In the embrace of Maple Crest, amidst its earthy charm and the melodies of nature, their love story began crafting a narrative far grander than what the city life had shown them, one filled with endless possibilities, compassion, and the promise of a united journey ahead. The weeks following their first kiss unfolded like a vibrant tapestry at Maple Crest Farm. Each day brought new adventures and deepening feelings between Maeve and Sarah. As they worked side by side, their connection flourished, marked by shared laughter, hand-holding during quiet moments, and whispers of support as they navigated the legal challenges together. Maeve poured her energy into formulating a solid defense for Sarah while simultaneously embracing the warmth of the farm. She began volunteering her time, learning how to feed the animals, muck out stalls, and even supervising kids during educational workshops. With every interaction, Maeve felt the weight of her corporate life lift, replaced by the soul-soothing joys that Sarah cultivated in her world. One particularly crisp autumn day, Sarah invited Maeve to join her for the annual Harvest Festival. The farm was alive with color, stalls of homemade goods and smiling faces filling the space. Pumpkins adorned every corner, and laughter echoed as children bobbed for apples and created scarecrows. The festival was a small slice of heaven, and Maeve couldn't help but catch Sarah's gaze a few times amid the festivities. Each glance was heavier with unspoken affection. It was a reminder, life here was vibrant and full, a stark contrast to the life she had known. After helping the kids make crafts, Maeve found Sarah sitting atop a hay bale, gazing at the evening sky. The sun was setting, painting the horizon with strokes of orange and pink, and Maeve felt the weight of her heart swell for this woman beside her. "Isn't it beautiful?" Sarah murmured, tilting her head back slightly. "Pretty sure it gets more beautiful every time I see it with you," Maeve replied, scooting closer, needing to feel Sarah's warmth against her side. "Maybe it's because you're finally seeing the world through different eyes." "Maybe," Maeve mused. "I was so focused on my career, and what I thought was valuable, that I forgot how to just be. You've reminded me that there's more to life than boardrooms and deadlines." As the sun dipped lower, painting the evening with twilight hues, Maeve realized something. She had found her foothold not just in a beautiful community, but within herself, and Sarah was a crucial part of that journey. Suddenly, the buzz of anticipation rippled through the crowd as Matthew approached, looking somewhat out of breath yet with a broad smile on his face. "Great news!" he exclaimed. "We've settled the lawsuit, all terms in your favor. The Morans are withdrawing their claim after we provided proof of your extensive safety protocols." The announcement hung in the air, and Maeve could hardly breathe, her heart racing not in fear but in elation. "Oh my God, Sarah!" Her voice rose with excitement, and they both jumped to their feet, wrapping each other in an enthusiastic embrace. As they filled the space with laughter, Maeve caught sight of Sarah's eyes shining brighter than any Harvest Festival lights could manage. "We did it!" Sarah beamed. "You did it." "No, we did it together," Maeve corrected, holding Sarah's face in her hands. "This place, your passion, it deserves to flourish." And at that moment, in the bustling midst of celebration, surrounded by people and love, Maeve realized she wanted to build a future rooted firmly in this life they had begun to sketch together. "Sarah," Maeve continued earnestly, her heart pounding with purpose, "you've changed my life in ways I can never express fully. I can't imagine going back to the city, not after all that I've found here with you. I want us to be more than just this moment. I want to wake up each day knowing I'm by your side." Sarah's breath caught as she met Maeve's intense gaze. "Are you asking me to?" "I'm asking you to be with me, truly with me," Maeve confirmed, vulnerability coursing through her. Tears of joy shimmered in Sarah's eyes, and she nodded slowly, her voice barely above a whisper. "Yes, yes. I want that too." They kissed again, a gentle yet fervent connection that spoke volumes, a promise of love whose roots would run deep into the earth of Maple Crest. As the festival continued around them, Maeve and Sarah joined in, laughing, dancing, and initiating good-natured shenanigans along the way, cementing bonds not just within the community but between them, misunderstanding and fear falling away to reveal friendship and love built on solid ground. The following weeks brought a whir of partnership. Maeve began working remotely from the farm much of the time, assisting Sarah in her nonprofit endeavors while continuing her legal work, all the while gaining insights into both worlds. Maeve discovered joy in the mundane, finding solace in the routines of farm life. They began hosting weekly dinners with friends, inviting neighbors to share in the bounty of their harvests. Love and laughter filled the old farmhouse every night, their foundation strong, with Maeve growing more comfortable leaning into her new life, where Sarah was her greatest treasure. Over the course of a year, the seasons changed and soon, the farm was once again enveloped in winter's embrace. Yet inside the farmhouse, the air felt like spring, colorful potted plants decorated the windows, and laughter erupted from the kitchen as Maeve tried to keep up with Sarah's culinary skills during a baking spree for a local charity. As they rolled out dough together, Sarah paused and turned to Maeve, light reflecting from her warm brown hair. "What do you think about the future? I mean, for us." Maeve smiled, her heart swelling at the thought. "I think we'll keep finding new ways to make our lives richer. Together. I'd love to help expand the nonprofit, and maybe even look at ways to incorporate legal education for the kids." Sarah's eyes brightened. "I would love that. And we could even reach out to city schools to get kids out here more often, just like how you came to my world." The warmth of the kitchen, paired with the promise of their future, enveloped them in security. Maeve slid her hand to clasp Sarah's. "Together we can make it happen," Maeve affirmed. "You've shown me how, and I'm ready for all of it." As the flower dust settled around them, and the scent of sweet treats filled the room, Maeve realized that she had finally found what had been missing from her life. Love, passion, and purpose intertwined seamlessly, not just rooted in the ethos of the farm but also within her heart. In that moment, Maeve knew that the love they had built together was only the beginning, an endless chapter filled with laughter, adventure, and a promise to always choose each other, no matter what seasons lay ahead. And so, nestled in the heart of Maple Crest, two women stood side by side, ready to embrace a life of love, passion, and community that would forever change them both.